Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good evening or good night or almost good morning to you. Glad you're joining me here. We're going to talk Knicks versus the Clippers as they take on. They're going to battle a very depleted Los Angeles Clippers team. So maybe the Knicks are going to be able to knock off one of these LA teams, ladies and gentlemen, because they're going to battle a depleted team in the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going to break down this game and take a look at it. All right, we're going to take a look at this game and see what the matchups look like. It's going to be kind of weird because all these guys are going to be out. So obviously it's not going to be the game that we expected it to be. Tomorrow, the Knicks play the Los Angeles Clippers at 3:30 in the afternoon. I hate these early morning games, ladies and gentlemen. Not early morning games, early in the day games, early games. I don't like these early games. You know, a lot of times we struggle during these early games. But we got to do it. We got to handle it. Hopefully the Knicks will be able to handle it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's break this down. Let's get with it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's rock. That's the jig. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks will be battling the Los Angeles Clippers, a depleted Los Angeles Clippers team, tomorrow at the Staples Center at 3:30 p.m. So make sure you join in, watch the game. It'll be live on MSG, on your local television station, which is MSG. It'll also be on ESPN 98.5. Let's take a look at the projected starters for tomorrow. All right, and there might be a lot of games that you're not familiar with tomorrow, okay? At least for the Los Angeles Clippers. For the New York Knicks, your projected starters are Elfrid Payton, R.J. Barrett, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, and Taj Gibson. Mike Miller seems content to stick with his starting group for a little while. Obviously, he was going with Frank Ntilikina for a while. Then he went with Elfrid Payton. He seems content to stick with his starting guys. Understandably so. Understandably so. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They were just 6-4 in their last 10 games. Now they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. So you get it. You get it. He wants to build that consistency. All right, that's the one thing the Knicks have not done this season is play consistent basketball. They're trying to build that consistency. All right, so the Knicks got the same starting five. As far as the Los Angeles Clippers, at point guard, you got Derek Walton Jr., shooting guard, Landry Shamet, small forward, Maurice Harkless. Now, Maurice Harkless and Montrezl Harrell, they could switch off between the small forward and power forward. I'm not even sure who's going to start where. Usually, at that small forward spot would be Kawhi Leonard. Okay, but Kawhi Leonard likely is not going to play tomorrow. He's going to sit out, do the rest because the Los Angeles Clippers played the Memphis Grizzlies tonight and Kawhi Leonard played. Los Angeles Clippers got blown out they gave up 140 points to the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. All right, so it could be Maurice Harkless or it could be Montrezl Harrell at the small forward, power forward. And at center, you got Zubac. Now, Doc Rivers could choose to go another way, and he could start Lou Williams at the shooting guard spot and move these guys down. Who knows how it's going to go? This is just projected. Either way, for the most part, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Patrick Beverley are not going to be playing tomorrow versus the Los Angeles Clippers. All right? So, maybe, just maybe, this will be, one of those games for the Knicks where the Knicks can capitalize on what the Los Angeles Clippers do not have. Now, the last time we played against the Washington Wizards, not the last time, but the time before we played the Wizards and we got beat by a depleted team. We came back and we then defeated the Washington Wizards. So hopefully the Knicks learned their lesson from that. Hopefully so. Hopefully they learned their lesson. We'll see. We'll find out. Let's take a look at some of the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we compare the teams. The Knicks are 10-25. The Los Angeles Clippers, they're 25-12. They both lost their last game. The Clippers losing tonight to the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, the Knicks they average 103.9 points per game. They give up 111.1 points per game. They shoot 43.2% from the field, 34.5% from three, and they grab 46.7 rebounds per game. They're averaging 21.1 assists on the season and 14.3 turnovers on the season. Of course, for the New York Knicks, over the last 10 games, it looks a little bit different. We'll talk about those last 10 games for the Knicks and also for the Los Angeles Clippers. Again, the Clippers, they lost their last game. They lost tonight versus the Memphis Grizzlies. They average 115.3 points per game. They give up 109.2 points per game. They're shooting 46% from the field. They shoot 35.7% from three. They grab 48.1 rebounds per game. They average 23.3 assists and 15.7 turnovers per game. The offensive rating for the Los Angeles Clippers is 111.3. That's 7th in the league. Their defensive rating is 105.3. That's 6th in the league. The offensive rating for the Knicks is 104.3. That's 27th in the league. And then the defensive rating for the Knicks is 111.5. That's 21st in the league. Now, let's take a look, or let's talk about, we're not going to take a look at it. We're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the way both these teams compare over the last 10 games, their last 10 games. All right, we'll take a look at their last 10 games. All right, because obviously for the New York Knicks, the last 10 games have been definitely different for the New York Knicks. All right, so for the Knicks over the last 10 games, they're 5-5, right? They've been averaging 111.2 points per game. That's the Knicks over the last 10 games, which is good, ladies and gentlemen. They average 111.2 points per game. All right, the Knicks are shooting over the last 10 games. They're shooting 45.8% from the field. All right, which is a heck of a lot better than they were shooting earlier in the season. Earlier in the season, over the first 20-some-odd games, the Knicks were shooting like 42% from the field. I'm going to tell you what, you are not going to be a successful team by any stretch of by any stretch of your imagination if you are shooting 42% from the field. That's what the Knicks were shooting, 42% from the field. Over the last 10 games, they're shooting 45.8% from the field. All right. From three, the Knicks are shooting from three over the last 10 games. They're shooting 33.4% over the last 10 games. Now, this is maybe it's not as good as it was. At one point in the season, the Knicks were up near like 37%. They were one of the top 5 teams in the league shooting threes. Obviously, they've fallen off the wayside in shooting threes, but they've picked it up in other areas. They're much better rebounding the ball over the last 10 games. The Knicks are averaging 50.5 rebounds per game over the last 10. All right, they average 23.8 assists over the last 10 games. And they're only averaging 12.7 turnovers per game over the last 10 games. All right, that's big stuff right there for the Knicks. That's big stuff for the Knicks right there. I like what I'm seeing. When we talk about offensive and defensive efficiency for the New York Knicks over the last 10 games, let's take a look at that here. Or not efficiency, but rating. The offensive rating for the New York Knicks over the last 10 games. Their offensive rating is, and let me make sure I get this. Let me get my filters right here before I give you this information, because I want to make sure that it's accurate for you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so over the last 10 games, the Knicks are Their offensive rating is 110.4 over the last 10 games. All right, 110.4. That's 14th in the league. All right, that's not bad. All right, now let's take a look at their defensive rating. Their defensive rating is 109.1 over the last 10 games. All right, this is the New York Knicks, and that is 14th in the league. All right, so when you look at the Knicks over the last 10 games, just like their record says they are, they're a middle-of-the-pack team. All right, middle-of-the-pack team. I will take that all day. I'll take that all day. And of course, when you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers are just a very good team all the way around, all the time. Over the last 10 games, though, the Los Angeles Clippers, their defensive rating over the last 10 games is 18th in the league. That's 109.9. All right. Now, of course, the Los Angeles Clippers are dealing with injuries and they're dealing with people resting and all that kind of stuff. But that's the only thing matters coming into this game. Right? So let's take a look at the Los Angeles Clippers offensive rating. Their offensive rating coming into this game over the last 10 games, the Los Angeles Clippers offensive rating is, and I'm trying to find it here, ladies and gentlemen. It's 5th in the league still, 113.2 is the Los Angeles Clippers offensive rating over the last 10 games. All right, which is still very good. And that's still, dealing with their injuries and resting Kawhi Leonard and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So no matter what, no matter how you feel about load management, teams in the league are utilizing load management, ladies and gentlemen. All right, they're utilizing load management. So let's take a look. We're going to take a look at the Los Angeles Clippers here and see what their numbers are over the last 10 games and actually look at their numbers and not just the defensive and offensive ratings. All right, so the Los Angeles Clippers over the last 10 games, they average 115.2 points per game, basically on to their season's average. All right, they're shooting 46.8% from the field over the last 10 games, and that's basically on to their season's average. All right, from three, they're shooting 36.4%, maybe just a tad bit higher than what their season's average is. Rebounds, they're not a very good rebounding team. All right, 45.4 rebounds per game. The Knicks should dominate on the boards against this team. And it's going to be necessary, ladies and gentlemen. They average 23.6 assists per game and 14.2 turnovers per game over the last 10 games. All right, so that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is the breakdown of the Los Angeles Clippers and the New York Knicks over the last 10 games. And listen, you know what it is. The last 10 games, the Knicks have been a different team. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's hard for people to understand it and realize it and actually, what I want to say, live by it or, just understand that they're a different team. But they've been a different team over the last 10 games. They've been a very different team, and we'll see if it continues. Has it been, since Mike Miller's taken over, the question, of course, is, has it been just a honeymoon period? Or, are they really, is it true? And is it true? Is it for real? All right. The Knicks over the last 10 games, they've been giving up 111.1 points per game. The Los Angeles Clippers, they've been giving up 109.2 points per game. So, these teams over the last 10 games have basically been playing even. All right. They've basically been playing even basketball. And if you haven't noticed, as I've been talking to you, I've been typing in what these two teams have been doing over the last 10 games so that you can look at the graphic on the screen. So there you go. There's the graphic on the screen. I was talking it through and I was typing it in at the same time so that you can make sure that I wanted to make sure that you could see it. So I'm going to read it off to you again. The Knicks record over the last 10 games is 5-5. They're averaging 111.2 points per game. They're giving up 111.1 points per game. All right, they're shooting 45.8% from the field, 33.3%, 33.4% from the three. They average 50.5 rebounds, 23.8 assists, and 12.7 turnovers per game. All right, their offensive rating is 14th in the league, is 110.4. The defensive rating is 109.1. That's 14th in the league. The Los Angeles Clippers, their record is 5-5. They're averaging 115.2 points per game. They're giving up 109.2 points per game. They're shooting 46.8% from the field, 36.4% from three, and they're averaging 45.4 rebounds per game. They average 23.6 assists and 14.2 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 113.2. That's 5th in the league. And their defensive rating is 109.9. That's 17th in the league. That's how they break down over the last 10 games. These are the two teams that you're getting tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? The two teams that you're getting tomorrow is right there in front of you. Now, the matchups, the key matchups, well, so many people out. I really see one key matchup. There's maybe two key matchups. Okay, you got Montrezl Harrell. You know, he had 28 points against the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. But the key matchup to me is Lou Williams and Elfrid Payton, and also Frank Ntilikina. Okay, that's the key matchup. Lou Williams, 6'1", 175, averages 19.2 points per game, 3 rebounds, 6 assists per game, 7 steals per 0.7 steals per game. Shoots 42% from the field and 36% from three. Lou Williams had 20 whatever points tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies, and you know he's going to be one of their 2 leading scorers against us tomorrow. All right, so Frank Ntilikina, Elfrid Payton, these guys are going to have to step up. I don't know which guy is going to see more time on Lou Williams. I have Elfrid Payton here because he's the starting point guard. He matches up size-wise with Lou Williams. Okay, and you never know if they're going to insert Lou Williams into the starting lineup based on the fact that Kawhi Leonard's not playing. Probably won't play. So if it is Elfrid Payton averages 7.9 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, 6.1 assists, and 1.4 steals. Shooting 39.7% from the field and 26.5% from three. Obviously, if Frank Ntilikina matches up with him, because Lou Williams comes off the bench, if Frank Ntilikina matches up with him, Frank is about 5.9 points per game, 2 assists per game, about 2 or 3 rebounds per game, 2 or 3 assists a game, 1.1 steals per game, or something like that. All right, so, both of those guys are defenders, so they're going to have to deal with Lou Williams. You know what I mean? For the record, Frank Ntilikina is 5.9 points, 2.1 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. All right, he shoots 38.8% from the field and 32.5% from three. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of Lou Williams, he may or may not come off the bench. We'll see what happens tomorrow during the game. But the bench, as we start talking about strategy and how do we beat the Los Angeles Clippers tomorrow, a depleted team, one of the things, we're going to need our bench to come through. They're going to have a depleted team. Their bench is playing. Their bench is starting. Paul George out. Kawhi Leonard out. Patrick Beverley out. So their bench is going to be starting, which means they're going to have a weak bench. We need our bench to come through. We've had some games where our bench has really come through, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to need our bench to come through tomorrow. All right, so let's take a look. And let's talk about some strategies to the game, some of the keys to the game. All right, and the first key to the game, I mentioned it earlier, we got to stay focused, ladies and gentlemen. Stay focused. Let's not get distracted because they do not have their starters. Right? We can't fall into that trap. We did it against the Washington Wizards the first time. We came back the second game and we won, although it was still a tough game. We can't fall into it now. We got to stay focused and be ready to play. Stay focused versus a depleted team. If not, we're going to get our butts kicked. Match the defensive intensity. I don't care if the team is depleted or not. These guys are going to come out and be ready to play defensively. They're going to play with hustle. They're going to play with heart. They're going to play with energy. We've got to match that defensive intensity. We got to make sure we match that intensity. We need to dominate the glass. The Knicks, like I said, over the last 10 games have been averaging 50.5 rebounds per game. The Los Angeles Clippers, they average under 50 rebounds per game. For the season, they're like 48.5. Over the last 10 games, it's somewhere around 43 or 42 or something like that. 43 or 44, somewhere around there. The Knicks need to dominate the glass. Don't let Williams get off. Listen, I understand that's not an easy task, and it's much easier said than done, but we've got to do something. We let Devin Booker get off. Devin Booker got off for 37, 38 points, whatever he had, right? I'm not going to say we let him get off. He got off. We got to find a way. We don't want Williams to get off. He's going to take a lot of shots. He's already averaging 19 points per game. He's going to take a lot of shots. We got to defend this guy. Let's not let him go crazy. Let's not let him get off. Elfrid Payton, Frank Ntilikina, we need you to defend this guy. Don't let him go off. Don't let him go crazy on us. We need ball movement and man movement, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very good defensive team. If we get stagnant, and we've done a better job over the last 10 games since Mike Miller's been here. We've done a better job. If we get stagnant, we'll be in trouble. Let's not get stagnant. We got to keep up the ball movement, man movement, get more and more ball movement and man movement. All right? Then we got to find ways to get RJ involved, man. We got to get this guy going. We got to get RJ going. We need him. And right now, RJ Barrett's been, he hasn't been playing well. He's struggling a little bit. We need Coach Mike Miller. We need his teammates to get behind him, help push this guy, help RJ Barrett to play and get better. Right? Let's get him in positions where he can score the basketball. Let's get RJ Barrett in position to be successful. That's what we need. And that's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. All right? I know it's not many of you here tonight. It's kind of late. I got on kind of late, 11:45, 11:50, whatever it was. But I'm grateful for those who are here. If you want to speak to me, my man, you got some questions or you want to just comment on the game, give me a call, 516-405-2246. The lines are open. I'll be on for another few minutes, another 20, 25 minutes or so. Make sure that you jump on, get your calls in. Usually there's a whole lot of people trying to call in and you can't get in. So it's not that many people. You might be able to get your calls in right now. Give me a call, 516-405-2246. All right, the whereby is open. You can get into the whereby, ladies and gentlemen. All right, whereby.com/NBK if you want to talk, you want to get on the screen. All right, make sure you jump in. Once again, just looking at and breaking down the game. Looking at and breaking down the game, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks are battling the Los Angeles Clippers tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. All right, and while the Clippers are depleted, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough one still because they're a good defensive team. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have no call, we got a call. Let me get to somebody. Let's see what we're talking about. Caller, you're live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping with you, bro?
Hey, hello, Simeon. How are you doing? I was out of the country for 2 weeks on vacation, but it's pretty interesting to see the Knicks have suddenly become a better team since I've been out of vacation. So it's been a pleasant surprise since I've come back.
Yeah. Where'd you go on vacation, man?
I went to Mexico on a cruise.
Okay, all right, that's what's up, man. Hopefully you enjoyed it there.
Okay. Yeah, it was great. It was it was very relaxing. Got my mind off the team, and it was great for me physically and mentally just to recover from a lot of things.
All right, that's what's up, man. All right, sounds good. So what you want to talk about, man?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the improvement. Like from what I observed since I've come back, that the team is starting to look decent now. can't make what I envisioned them to be at the start of the season. I thought they were going to be at least, an average team, decent. And I think Coach Miller's doing a good job right now. Whatever he's doing, it's working. I'm impressed right now. I just hope they can keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed too. Hopefully he can keep it up. The guys, hopefully they'll continue to respond to him, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Again, the coach I'd like to ask you about Coach Miller. If the Knicks continue to play like this, let's say they play 500 basketball for the rest of the season. Do you think that the Knicks should try to keep him or still search for a new coach?
If they play 500 basketball for the remainder of the season, I'd like to, keep him around, give him a chance. Why not?
Yeah, that's how I feel, because if he can establish good chemistry and he can build something right now, just 'cause I feel like young players, they need organization, they need structure, and if he can provide that, if we're playing good basketball, why try to get another coach, when we have something that's already in place and, we can only get better because, the players are very young.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. If he continues to do what he's doing, keep him around. See what he can do. And look, Mike Miller would come cheaper than other coaches. Coaches that have a so-called name brand, Mike Miller's going to come cheaper than them. So.
Oh yeah, I agree. I can't think of any, legendary coaches that are available right now. Obviously, Popovich is San Antonio, but I feel he's going to quit after this year. He's just too old. And I just think right now the league is filled with a lot of young coaches. It's like a new generation of coaches that are coming out right now. So we already have a good coach in Mike Miller. I don't know why we should search for another one because there's so many unknowns. If you look at the coaching field right now, there's like a lot of unproven guys out there.
Yeah. Well, I think that they're definitely, I don't see them taking the interim tag off of Mike Miller before the end of the season. I think that they're going to go ahead and, let the season play out, see where they are, and then make a decision about Mike Miller. That's what I think is going to happen.
I think that's the best way to do it. Obviously, he has to prove himself still. You want him to, prove himself, and if he does, then I'm definitely, into making him the head coach. Wait for the whole entire year to see how the Knicks do. But if he keeps it up, I think he could be possibly, our future head coach.
Yeah. All right. Hey man, I appreciate the call. All right. I know it's listen, it's 12:18. I appreciate you for calling in and being here with me. And I look forward to, maybe see you tomorrow when after the game.
Yeah, hopefully we can get the win. Briefly, Clippers are not playing so well, so I hope the Knicks can, take advantage of their chemistry issues they're having right now. But we'll see.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Congratulations on the trip too, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's see who we got here. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
What's going on, man? This is Joe from Atlantic City.
Hey, what's going on, Joe? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. How about you?
I'm good. Feel pretty good, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, man. I want to talk about Marcus Morris, man. I know a lot of people say we can get some assets for him if we trade him.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's such a beautiful thing seeing him play and how much he loves to be in New York, man. I can't wrap my head around people saying we should just get rid of him for assets because he wants to be there, man. And he's such a good player. I know we're paying him $15 million a year to be there, but I think at the end of the day, it'll be better just to keep him. He's going to get us a couple more games. Even if we don't make the playoffs, he might re-sign with us, and I think it'd be better just to keep him.
I get it. Listen, there's a tough decision for whoever the front office is going to be. It's going to be a pretty tough decision on whether or not you keep Marcus Morris. You got to take everything into. You got to factor in everything. You got to factor in, how does he impact the future? How does he impact the players? How does he impact the salary cap? All of that's got to be taken in to consideration. Now, I did have somebody hit me up on Instagram today, and they asked, they said that, he was like, yo, we got to move Marcus Morris because Kevin Knox is not able to get his stuff in. He's not able to develop, learn, and blah, 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 blah. And basically saying, you got to move Marcus Morris so that Kevin Knox can play those minutes. My thing is this with that as far as with Kevin Knox, my thing is you got to earn your stripes. You know what I'm saying? And if there's somebody in front of you that's better than you, then, you know, you got to earn your place to play over top of that person. You know what I'm saying? I've always been like that. I do want to see him. I'd like to see him playing some more minutes, but he's also got to earn that. You know what I mean? And if he's not earning it, then you're putting you're putting a worse player on the floor, and I don't know that it actually helps that person's development. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, he's playing 12, 15 minutes a game.
Developmental status. It's nice to have someone like Marcus Morris to be there and, you know, having those initial starting minutes, so you have someone you can mirror, someone you could say, okay, this is what I have to do when I get in. Right now, he's in his early developmental stages where he needs to learn the game. You know, it's a lot better to sit and watch and to learn versus being in the game and not knowing what to do. I feel like right now Knox is exactly where he needs to be, and he's going to get a lot better just by having someone like Marcus Morris there to emulate and to be able to, you know, pick things up from him, the things that he does, not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. And that's another reason why I think that we should keep Marcus, because we have someone like Knox that is in this developmental stage where he can actually see, okay, this is what I have to do. This is where I need to get better. And, you know, you gotta remember, even the thing with R.J. Barrett, we say, oh, he's just a rookie. Well, Knox, man, he's what? This is his second or third year? I think
this is Knox's second year. This is Knox's second year. It's his sophomore year.
It's his second year, man. So it's early for him. So for us to be like, oh, Knox, he's not playing well, it's going to happen, you know. Young players.
Give me a second. I want to respond
with the process. You know what I'm saying?
Give me a second. I want to respond to some people that's in the YouTube chat, because they say, you know, like Hinton Murphy says, you don't learn by sitting. Somebody else in here said, you know, something about you can't develop, you can't learn, you can't earn it if he doesn't play. I mean, he's playing 12 to 15 minutes per game. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's how you start to earn your position. You play 12 to 15 minutes. You battle and you fight. You make it where the coach can't take you off the floor, and you start getting more and more minutes. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he was getting 0 minutes, I can understand what you're saying, right? But if you're playing behind someone who's better than you, you get your 12 to 15 minutes per game, right? That's that's time out there where you can prove to the coach that you deserve to be on the floor and you should stay on the floor. That's enough time to prove to the coach that you should stay on the floor. You've got to do the things on the floor to make the coach say, I can't take him off. I can't take him off the court because we play worse when we take him off. You got to do those things. 12 to 15 minutes is enough time to do that during a game, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And, people say that it hurts his development. You can't learn while you're sitting. I disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? You learn the basketball game in different ways. You learn some on the court. You learn some while you're sitting. You learn some by getting disciplined for not playing or doing the things that the coach wants you to do. If you're not hustling, the coach sits you, you learn. If you're not rebounding when the coach wants you to rebound, you learn. I'm saying, though, you learn. If you're not playing defense, you're not making your defensive assignments, you learn because the coach is putting you on the bench. You learn from that. Why? Because you don't want to be on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be on the bench, so you learn. Knox he's got to earn his stripes. We want him to play. He's got to earn his stripes. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you teach a player by just handing him 30 minutes. You don't teach a player how to be a player by handing him 30 minutes or handing him 20 minutes. You don't just say, yep, we're going to give you 20 minutes because we drafted you 9th. So we're just going to give you, that 9th pick comes with a 20-minute guarantee. No, it doesn't happen that way. And to me, you stunt a player's growth. You stunt a player's growth when you just hand them minutes just because. I fully believe that, and I will never, ever be convinced otherwise. Yeah, you hurt a player's growth when you just give them minutes.
With Frank Ntilikina, there was a bunch of times where we were starting him, like in the beginning of the season. He must have been starting like every game. And all of a sudden we took out Frank because he wasn't playing well. What do you know? As soon as we put him right back into that position where he can start making some moves, he started playing a little bit better. He wasn't, he wasn't as hesitant. He was a little bit more confident in his shot. A lot of the teammates were backing him up. Everyone was behind him. Overall, Frank Ntilikina just seems more of a confident player now that he was on the bench and he was able to watch Elfrid Payton. I wouldn't say he was able to watch DSJ because DSJ hasn't been that good either, but I feel like him being able to sit down and not be in that starting position has made him play a little bit better. And you've seen it in the last couple of games. He had that nice dunk out of nowhere. I don't think anybody saw Frank being able to just dunk over Damian Lillard like that. That was a beautiful play, and I want to see more of that from Frank. I feel like he can be a lot more aggressive. And, but like you said, being able to sit on the bench and watch the game and then come out, once you were a starter and now you're coming off the bench, I feel like that helps your gameplay. So Knox will be able to develop watching someone like Marcus Morris in that starting position. And like I said, it's only his second year. So
this is second year.
We'll see.
All right. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Joe, I appreciate you. All right. Have a good one. No doubt. And I do want to respond to a couple guys that's in the YouTube chat. The first person, Apple Fanboy. Let me see where it is. What did I want to respond to? Forgot what I wanted to respond to. I forgot what I wanted to respond to about Kevin Knox. But I do want to respond to King Ant G. You said Kevin Knox is a mental midget, so you can't sit him. You know what? If Kevin Knox is truly a mental midget, which I'm not going to agree with you on that. I don't agree with you there. But if he is a mental midget, like you say, then he doesn't deserve to be in the NBA because you got to be tough. You don't need to be playing basketball, any sports, if you're going to be a mental midget because you're sitting on the bench. Because you got to be tough. You got to be able to deal with it. You got to be able to fight through it, and you got to earn your stripes. You got to earn your stripes that way. You know what I mean? So, to me, that is not that's not a good excuse for why you put a player on the floor. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's actually a terrible excuse to me. You know what I'm saying? As to why you put a player on the floor. Right. And I seen Apple Fanboy said something, I'm looking for it. So Apple Fanboy, when I find it, I'm going to respond to it. But I can't find it right now. Something that you said about Kevin Knox that I disagreed with. You know what I mean? So when I find it, I'll come back to you. But that's my thing about Kevin Knox, man. I think that, I obviously, you heard me. I think it's too early, way too early for people to give up on him. You know what I'm saying? Way too early for people to give up on him. You got to let the guy grow and learn and try to become a player in the NBA. And you don't do it by just gifting him 30 minutes in the name of development, because to me, that's not good development. You know what I'm saying? You got to be tough. Oh, I know what you said, Apple Fanboy. You said discipline Knox when he's older. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. You don't discipline when you're older. You discipline when you're younger, so that when you're older, you've taken away all of those, you've taken away all of the bad habits. The discipline comes at a younger age, not an older age. I mean, I'm not saying that people don't get disciplined when they're older. Right, it may happen. You get disciplined from a higher level of authority. Right, but the discipline to teach certain principles happens at a younger age. That's when it happens. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you sit him on the bench. You sit him on the bench if he's not doing what you want to do. He's getting 12 to 15 minutes per game. Now he's got to earn his way to get 20 minutes per game. And then 25. And then 30. He got to earn it, man. I just hate this in the name of development. Everybody has to get playing time. Everyone has to get 30 minutes. Like discipline doesn't help you develop. I just don't get it. I like to see people play. But I also don't want it to be given to them. It's not going to be gifted to them. They got to earn it. They got to go get it. That's been my stance. It always will be my stance. And yes, I do like Kevin Knox. I do think he's talented. I do think it would be a mistake if the Knicks gave up on him and moved him. It's like everybody wants to call him a bust and say this and say that. I think it's ridiculous. The guy's been in the league a year and a half. I think it's ridiculous. But that doesn't mean that I say, oh, yeah, just let him play how many ever minutes he wants. No, you teach him. You teach him. You make him earn his stripes. That's how it happens in the NBA. That's how it happens everywhere, anywhere. You earn your stripes. Then you get your time on the floor. And if you can't earn your stripes, then you don't deserve to be on the floor. Bottom line. That's how I see it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks take on the Clippers tomorrow, 3:30. Let's hope that Kevin Knox can give us something off the bench, because we're going to need the bench to step up. We're going to need the Knicks to really step into this game. They're going to have to be, someone said that Kevin Knox was a mental midget. The Knicks are going to have to be mentally tough to pull this game out tomorrow and not succumb to a team that's depleted like they did against the Washington Wizards. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard when a team, you expect one thing and then a team comes at you in another way. It's tough to not fall into that trap of lowering your standards when you come out and play against that team. The Knicks should not fall into any trap ever. This team should never, ever fall into a trap of lowering their standards, because we're just not that caliber of a team to think that we can coast and win. We're definitely not that caliber of a team. All right? I think Mike Miller has it under control. So, I really do. I think Mike Miller has it under control. And I don't think we're going to have to worry about these guys coming out and not being prepared. I think we learned our lesson the first time. Get to one more call, then I'm going to go over some of this information one more time. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's going on, Sim? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
All right. I am Hinton Murphy. I'm the one you called out on your live right now. So I just appreciate you, because I hit you on the gram all the time and be hitting you with those little notes when I be watching games. So I just want to thank you, and peace to everyone in the chat. How y'all doing?
I'm good. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for hitting me up.
All right. So now we're going to get to the Kevin Knox thing, right?
Uh-huh.
The only thing that I'm saying is that when this team is good, I doubt Mook is going to be on the team. And that's why I think it's best to trade him, so we can see if Kevin Knox is who he is and who we want him to be. And if he's not, we can make the right deal and we can see what we want to do with him going forward. So that's really my deal with Kevin.
My only thing is, I just don't know, even if you move Marcus Morris. And listen, I'm not against moving him. I'm not against keeping him. It's kind of a situation where either way could be the right move, or either way could be the wrong move. It's a tough decision to make right there with Marcus Morris.
Yeah.
My thing with Kevin Knox, I don't think we would know, even if Marcus Morris, if you move Marcus Morris and Kevin Knox got all that playing time, I still don't think you would know by the end of the season, is he the guy that, I just don't think you're going to know. I don't think you're going to really know with Kevin Knox for another 2 years.
That's true, but but my belief is he's either a wolf or he isn't. We're either going to get it out of him or we're not. And if he's not going to get it out, then we got to move on. And I know that's hard, but we want to win a championship. That's the goal. That's what we all want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get this going in the right direction. And to get that going in the right direction, we have to find a way to get him minutes to see if he's going to be here 5-6 years down the road. And I think by just giving him those minutes that Mook is taking, that is what it is. But, it's just my opinion. We all have them, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong.
Right.
You know what it is.
So let me ask you this. And because I see someone in the YouTube chat, JNN says that you're right, putting young guys in like the Suns and the Hawks are doing. But let me ask you this. if you have a player that can't earn it in practice, and I know what you're saying.
I agree with you. You do have to earn your minutes. I play ball too. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand that, but I also understand that this is a little bit different in this situation. And a 29-year-old is hurting the 21-year-old in this situation because we're not good enough for him. He has to be moved in the big picture of things.
I mean, I'm not sure what the big picture is with the Knicks right now, to be honest with you. So it's just, everything is, I don't know, seems like so much up in the air. I don't know. We don't know who's going to be. We don't know who the coach is going to be going into next year. We don't know who the executive team is going to be.
That's true too.
But I understand what you're saying. I get it. I get it. Basically what you're saying is, we gotta put him out there. We may not see his, what he is 2 to 3 years down the line.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get it.
Savage. I agree with that, and we need to see if Kevin is going to be a savage. We want a team full of savages that's going to win us a championship. That's what we want.
I get it. Nah, I get it. I feel you. I get it. I understand. Mm-hmm. I understand everything that you're saying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just like to see guys have to fight their way up through the ranks.
Oh,
but I mean, listen, I don't think either way is going to be a wrong way. I don't think either way is going to be a wrong way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, thank you for letting me call in. Peace to everyone. I be in there back and forth. I be hitting Sim on the gram all the time, on the DMs, just my Knicks stuff, but going forward, I just hope we win this championship in the next decade so we can all be happy.
Peace to
everyone. Thank you, Sim, for your time. Thank you. I've been watching you since last year, you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you calling me, man. I appreciate you keep hitting me up on the gram. I know I don't always respond back.
But I know you see it, so we good.
I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you too.
Peace.
Later.
All right, let's see. Guillermo just joined us. Let's get Guillermo in here. See what Guillermo got to say. Let me get it unmuted. Guillermo, what's going on, man?
It's good, Sim. Oh, man, I feel like crap, man. I played ball for like 5 hours, man. I got dehydrated. I feel like crap. And then I went out and watched the Patriots game, which kind of made me happy because I'm a Jets fan. So, if the Knicks lose tomorrow, man, I won't be as mad because one is the Clippers, but I'm just happy the Patriots lost, man. You don't understand how good that feels.
I mean,
man.
It's the Clippers. Listen, we should have a much better chance of winning tomorrow. We should have we should. But obviously with the Knicks, you can never put any definites out there, right? With this team, you can't put any definites out there.
Someone in the chat said they're not going to have Paul George and Kawhi because they're load managing. And I got to say something about this load management crap, man. As much as I like Kawhi Leonard, and I think that he's a special player, man, this dude has never played 82 games in a season, man. And I'm not trying to do this as like an old head or whatever. I want these guys to stop comparing these guys to the players that we grew up watching, man. Because I understand the money and stuff is involved, but those guys back then, even those guys, some of those guys making a lot of money, they were freaking 82 games, 81 game warriors, man. Like, they made the NBA. Everyone talks about David Stern, and rest in peace, David Stern did make the league great. But it was also because these players made the regular season special, man. And yes, there was load management back then too. Yes, to an extent, but come on, Sim. Like you hearing these guys nowadays talk about, they make up this injury and that injury, and the ratings are down 27% the past 2 years. Like, they're worsening the product. So I don't want none of these guys to compare themselves to any of the Warriors that were in the league back then who were giving it night in and night out, and then playing in the playoffs, and then playing in the finals or whatever. So. Come on,
and man. Think about it. Think about if you're a fan, right? So tomorrow's game is at 3:30 on the East Coast. It's at 12:30 on the West Coast. So tons of kids would likely be going to this game. So think about it. If you're a 10-year-old kid coming to this game, you're looking forward to seeing Kawhi play. You're looking forward to see Paul George play, right? You spent $150 your parents spent $150 on tickets, $300, $450 for the whole family to go, and you don't even get to see the guys that you want to see. That's a lot of money for most families in America.
And
It's a lot of
why do
money.
you think the ratings are down? Because it's just like, yo, why do you think they came up with that crappy idea for like the play-in tournament? And then even when they said, I forgot which coach said it, not Mark Cuban, it was somebody. I can't, not no, he's not a coach. Sorry, not can't remember what it was, but they were like basically these kids ain't gonna play for. They'll take those days off and just rest. They don't care about $1 million because these kids are getting paid so much to do less. Let's be honest, these kids are playing less, and it's not until like let's be honest, a championship, a lot of stuff, it doesn't even feel as special anymore, right? It's just I just the product of the game, man. I would love to see the Knicks play against a Kawhi and because look, I wouldn't say back in the day, a few years ago when we had Carmelo, remember the Knicks used to play the Heat very well for a few years. We used to play them really tough.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see the Knicks pull out an edge out a 5-point win against LeBron and them, or even when we played the Celtics will come, Knicks are up by 2 or no, up by 1, and then Paul Pierce pulls off some ridiculous shot, even though we'll lose. But you want to see that in the regular season. Nowadays, it's like I can't even see the Knicks play Kawhi Leonard. Like, come on, man. It's
Yeah.
corny, but I mean, to the game, man. Look, Montrezl Harrell, he's doing really well. I think he's had 28 points the last.
Yeah, 28 points. Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting to see how Mitch handles Montrezl Harrell. Because look, they like to use Montrezl Harrell and pick and rolls and stuff. But I think he's also developed a little post-up game as well. I haven't watched too much of him, but the last game I watched him was against the Lakers, and he's good around the basket. Don't get me, he's a dog. So I would say he kind of reminds me of like that Bam Adebayo, where it's like they look. Not say they are undersized, but they look undersized, but they almost play with the tenacity of an old school power forward, but they don't play like a big man, Loggy type of center. You know what I mean? Like they have that dog in them.
Well, he is undersized, for playing that forward center spot. I think he's 6'7".
Let me see. He is Montrezl Harrell 6'7". Hold up.
Yeah, he's like 6'7".
Oh, fuck. Yo,
Yeah.
he's 6'7". My bad.
He's
My bad.
6'7".
The center is
Zubac.
Guy from the Lakers, Zubac.
But he still plays that forward center position though. He's 6'7", but he plays that, he's like an undersized center.
Wow, I apologize. I did not know he was 6'7". Goodness gracious. He plays like he's 6'9", 6'10", bro. Like he is a dog down there. And then Lou Williams just had 28 points tonight, or against the Grizzlies. Last 10 games he's averaging 16 points. 39% from 3, 42.5% field goal, but he's going to be the focal point if poor George and what's his name is out. And then they also got was Landry Shamet hurt for a little while or something like that?
I'm not sure, but I think he's playing tomorrow. But
that's one guy I fear because he's a solid player and he could shoot the lights out, man. So look, I don't know, man. Doc Rivers is a good coach. I don't know how they're gonna play us tomorrow because I don't watch a lot of Clippers games. I just watched that Lakers game they played. But they had poor George and Kawhi, so it's tough, man. But I hope the Knicks, like I said, when we played the Suns, they passed so damn much. And I don't think that they're gonna have Lou Williams just play straight up ISO. I think they're gonna move him around to kind of test our defense. But again, this is a game that we have to focus. Like we have to come in prepared. We have to come in focus. And last game we were good until the end where we allowed Oubre to kill us from deep, and then what's his boy's name? Booker kill us on the pick and roll into the mid range. And we can't allow that to happen. Lou Williams likes that mid range. Lou Williams just likes to score. Period. He's been a dog for years. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a tough game, even with those guys out, man. Because look, we said we should have beat the Wizards, and we got killed by a bunch of G League players. So
it's gonna be tough. It's still gonna be tough to win. Doc Rivers is gonna have these guys playing defense, playing hard, playing defense, believing. Just listen, preaching to them that they need to overachieve. That they're the underdogs against the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be revved up, ready to go. Even though they did get bust tonight
can I say one thing about the Knox thing real quick, Sim? My bad, I mean to cut you off. Can I say one thing about the Knox thing, man?
Yeah.
You're like the Dick Vermeil of like coaches, bro. And that's a compliment. Like, I don't know if you remember Dick Vermeil from the Rams.
Yeah, I know you talk about.
You really care for like the mental stability and well-being of players, man, and like the real develop. Like you're not a ruthless coach. Like you're the anti-Bill Belichick because look on Knox, man. I was saying this to the chat, man. If we get a dog like Anthony Edwards in the draft, if we somehow get him or he falls us, I don't know, whatever. And then you'd have to say move RJ to the 3. And then say you trade Morris for a first or whatever, blase, 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 right? So I'm just saying, wait, who's playing the sound? Oh, my bad. I'm just saying, like, I like Knox's talent. Don't get me wrong. But when you have young guys like RJ, you got guys like Anthony Edwards, when you got young dogs, you can't really teach that innate fire, right? You can't teach Kobe to have a fire to because it wasn't money, it wasn't necessarily fame. He had a fire to be great. I see that in RJ. As much as RJ's struggling right now, but you see it. The guy doesn't go out. He's a gym rat. When we talk about his 3-point shooting, he's improved dramatically. Even though he's not going to the form itself has improved dramatically since college. Not saying Knox is not improving because we talked about this summer league where he was getting strong going to the basket, whatever. But when you see certain young players who have that fire, and you could get a few of them, 2 or 3 of them on one team to be starters, I'm just saying, if we get Anthony Edwards, Knox is going to have to be a bench player. He might get pushed. And you talk about we need 2 years to kind of see where he's at. If we get young demons on this team,
this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't bring in players, right? Players, I'm not saying you don't bring in players. You don't say, well, I'm not going to get Anthony Edwards because we got Kevin Knox and we got to wait to see what he does. That's not what I'm saying at all. If he gets pushed down the end of the bench, he gets pushed down the end of the bench. What I'm saying is you don't just give up on him. You don't just give up. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're paying him $20 million a year. You don't just give up on him. You still put energy into him. He's he's not even a season and a half into his career.
I
just look at so many players that everybody thought that they had pegged in the first year and a half of the year, the first 2-3 years of their career. So many players in the league have been moved and sent here and sent there because the team thought that they had them pegged. Right? And then they turn out to be, I'm not saying they turn out to be superstars. Every player is not going to be a superstar, but they turn out to be a really good player in the league because someone said, okay, well, we're going to move him because he's not doing exactly what we need right now.
No.
And the
That's
Knicks
not what I'm saying.
need what right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you just said, you're saying we're going to, we got to wait 2 to 3 years to see what he is. The Raptors had to wait 2 to 3 years to see what Pascal Siakam was.
Hold on.
I mean, it's going to happen.
No,
and he
unfair.
came into the league.
That is unfair. Pascal Siakam.
No, it's not unfair. It's not
yes,
unfair.
It is, because Pascal Siakam was a raw talent. Do not get me wrong. But Pascal Siakam played focus. I saw in the game against
hold up. But stop. But I just want to stop it for 1 second though. Because you can say you might be right. He came in, he played focus, he played with this, he played with that. He also came into the league at 22. You know what I'm saying? He came into the league at 22 years old.
From where, Sim? He wasn't from America. He didn't start playing ball until very late. And he's developed a lot at a quicker rate. I'm not talking about just his scoring.
I know. But what I'm saying, and you can say all of that is good. All of that is right. But he also came into the league at 22 years old where he's a more mature man. At 22 years old, you're a more mature man. You're a different individual than you were at 20, at 19 or 20. You're a different individual. You're a more mature man. So he came into the league as a more mature man with a more mature body, right? Where Kevin Knox isn't even at that point yet.
I understand, Sim. I'm not even. I'm not even saying don't give the kid a chance. All I'm saying is that when I watch Kevin Knox, right, and I know you're gonna kill me for using this, but Mark brings up a good point. When you are young in the game, I never mind when players come in raw, like they make certain mistakes, mental mistakes. But when this kid is in the game, right, Too many times he seems unengaged. Like honestly, I don't know if there's something going on in his life. I don't know if there is. I'm
I don't
assuming
think
there
there's
isn't.
anything going on in
I
his
would
life.
actually ask him if like, do you love the game of basketball? Because when you watch him play, he play a lot of times. It's like lapses in focus. It's one thing if you don't have a certain talent, you don't have the size, you don't have a certain skill, you're making mental mistakes because you maybe are too what's it, pensive or whatever you want to call it. But it's like I'm watching this guy. When we played the Blazers, there was a pass that came straight to him, and he's looking at it, and he is almost as if he wasn't expecting it. Like it's like I know it's just one thing, but I've seen it too many times, and I'm not saying don't give him a chance, but I'm saying if we draft guys like Anthony Edwards,
Yo,
I want to see Anthony Edwards get major minutes with other dogs like Mitch and RJ, because I want this Knicks team to be a bunch of dogs. We talk about culture that Marcus Morris is sending. Marcus
yo,
Morris, even though he's older, is a dog.
listen, I'm going back, and I know I've talked about it 2 or 3 times. 2 players that I've coached who were just like Kevin Knox. And I'm not, and when I say just like, I'm talking about they're 17 years old. So the age difference is like 3 years. Right? Just like him.
I heard you brought the examples yesterday, or with the last
stream, the last
whatever,
time.
We said when they got
like
their
him.
first dunk, it's like something clicked in them. You said one kid went to go play college, and then like the other kid, you said like once he got that dunk, his confidence like hit the sky, it went sky high, whatever, blah blah, right?
You know, things click, and it sometimes it clicks that way, right? You got to give it. Sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes Dennis Smith Jr. comes in and he's aggressive and he's got that dog in him, and he ends up averaging 5 points a game in his third year.
I'm not a DSJ fan whatsoever.
No, I'm not saying that you are. I'm not saying that you are. What I'm saying is it happens both ways on both sides of the ball. That's why it kills me when people want to judge these guys that it's going to be their career when they've been in the league for a season and a half, and then you say, well, this is what it's going to be for his whole career, because you don't know. Because I guarantee you, if you watched him in high school, see, most people looked at him when he was in college and said, okay, he goes kind of silent, but not in high school. See, in high school, because he was the man on his team, he was always aggressive, right? He always took it. Right? Took it to the cup, took it to the basket, had averaged whatever points and rebounds, was always aggressive. That's what got him into that's what got him on the college level that he played on.
Listen, you're missing my point. I never even said that.
No, but what I'm saying is I can guarantee you, if you looked at him then, if everyone looked at him in high school before he went to college, they say, yo, this kid is aggressive. I like the way that he plays. I like the way he goes to the cup. I like that he does those things, right? Because he was playing on that level, right? Then he went to another level. Maybe there's a learning curve. He didn't have much of a learning curve, a learning experience in college. He's only in college for a couple of months. Then he jumps right to the NBA, like plenty other players do.
But I'll say this about that.
I'm just saying, there was a point when he was aggressive. But everybody wants to look at and say this is what his career is already. Just like RJ Barrett. One more thing. Just like RJ Barrett, right? Just like RJ Barrett. One thing he said, just to show you how things change so dramatically, and different people are going to deal with it in different ways. He said, when I was in college, I was efficient, right? I was efficient. He said because they asked him, what are you going to work on? He said everything. And he said, people sometimes laugh at me when I say everything. He said, but I'm going to give you an example. When I was in college, I was efficient. Now I'm in summer league. He said, all of a sudden, I'm not efficient. So that's why I have to work on everything, right? Because obviously things changed. The talent level changed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people right now are already judging RJ Barrett on 35 games into his career.
And that's stupid. And I'm not, but think about Sim, I'm not saying that Knox can't be a solid player. I still think Knox could be, but here's the issues and some of it's out of his control, right? when you watch what he did at Kentucky, his best production, which came from Kentucky, right? I mean, outside of his high school, but just say his heyday, whatever, in Kentucky, the 1 year. The thing about it is that they ran so much off ball for him, where he was coming around skis and curls, and this is why I said that this is what can kill a guy's confidence when you try to put him in a system that he's unfamiliar with, and you give him nothing of what he had before that made him good. And I think that's something that hurts him. The same thing like Tariq Evans, right? When they changed him from a point guard to a shooting guard, that killed him because he's not a natural shooting guard. He's better going against smaller guards, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with Knox, right? You can put a certain guy like RJ. I think RJ be fine because we've seen RJ in crappy Fizdale system. We see him in Mike Miller's system where he's had days where he's looked good. But then obviously there are days where he's looked bad, and there are things you could tweak. But regardless, it might just be, hey, he just has to just get his shot a little bit better, blah, blah. The thing with Knox is that even when I see him play, when he drives to the basket, it's very linear. He does the floater that's so hard, but he only goes one way. There's no change of pace, nothing like that, right? Even when he has his little set shot, he's making some of them now. But again, I think Knox would be better as, say, a focal or a secondary guy in a scheme where guys are moving around. He's coming around screens, curls to hit those shots like he did at Kentucky. And unfortunately, because Mike Miller just came, we don't have time to really implement a lot of that stuff. But again, Knox to me seems like he's more of a guy who he would do better with the proper system versus if you just allow him to keep going the same pace, he's going to be that type of guy. To me, and it's not me saying he's not going to be good. Knox could be a solid player, but to me, he just doesn't seem to have an inner dog in him. It's just how I see it. I hope I'm wrong. I actually hope to God I'm wrong. I hope Knox next year is averaging 23 points a game, and he's killing that 45% field goal shooting, 44% three-point shoot. I hope that happens. I never want any of these guys to do good. But I'm looking at guys like Anthony Edwards. And the thing about it is, like, we can look at guys like Ja Morant, right? And I understand. I'm not just saying that Ja Morant is going to be special just because he's having a really good rookie year. But you see a trajectory with certain guys who are dogs, and they are plus multipliers for the team. Easier to do it at a point guard level. You're good at that level. But I'm a guy like Anthony Edwards who can score, and he plays very good defense. And I want to pair that with a guy like RJ Barrett. I want young, up-and-coming players. I want the culture to change. I want the attitude to this Knicks to be, yo, it's all we got is us. And I don't feel that with Knox, bro. I'm just saying, and he could be a solid role player.
And you know what? And people keep saying, Anthony Edwards and stuff like that. I'm not even going to say nothing about the kid because he hasn't touched the NBA. He hasn't been in the NBA to deal with NBA talent. So we don't know what's going to happen upstairs with the way that he plays once he gets on the NBA floor.
That's true. That's my bet. I'm betting. So
we
you're right.
We don't know what's going to happen. He could get on the NBA floor and start killing. And you're like, whoa, this guy is boom, boom. He can get on the NBA floor and fade away from the game.
That is very true, Sim. But I'll say this, and I'm gonna rub this in all y'all faces. I called it last year for Ja Morant to be taking over Zion, and I got killed. And my words ring prophetic right now. So first of all, I just want y'all to give me my props because I'm so happy that Ja Morant's here. Even though I'm not happy that Zion's not playing. That sucks. I hate the fact that he's hurt.
Do we even know when he's coming back?
Bro, they said he's starting to run now. Bro. And like I said, if y'all guys want to check out that Ben Sutter thing, man, like you see it in Zion's. This thing I like about that Zion didn't do, man. He fell in love with the whole SB stuff. He wasn't worried about his weight. I don't know who the advisors are, and that's another important thing. I don't know who's Knox is. I'm not, shitting on Knox. I'm just saying. A lot of these guys don't have good advisors, man. Someone should have told me, yo, bro, you need to lose weight because now they're talking about he might be out for the rest of the year. And you're talking about a draft pick like him who's going to be out for the rest of the year. I don't know if you saw the video, Sim. Did you see the video, Sim, of him running?
I seen a video that I forgot it. I think I did it on one of the streams. I forgot he's a doctor and he does,
No. The one of him, of him recently running. Zion recently running.
No, I didn't see that.
What's this guy's name? Jalen Rose is breaking it down, and he said, "Yo, bro, he's running like how I would run now at 47 years old." Like, he is not moving well. And, I feel for Zion, but Ja Morant, I called it. So I would love to see anybody who would still say they'll take Zion Williamson over Ja Morant. Now, I know Zion's
obviously.
Ja Morant's a plus multiplier,
let me tell you something. I called something, too. I called something a few years ago. But I didn't call it on this channel.
Don't say, all right, let's go to
I didn't call it on this channel. This was a really long time ago.
You're going to say Melo.
Right? Huh? I'm gonna say
You're
who?
gonna say Melo. Go ahead. Go say
No,
Melo.
I'm not gonna say Melo. I called it a really long time ago, not on this channel. And if this person is watching or these people are watching, I hope that you remember. I couldn't find a tweet when I did it. It's about Lonzo Ball. Right? When he was coming out, I said Lonzo Ball is going to be a little bit better than Ricky Rubio. And everyone said to me, "Oh, you're crazy. He's going to be an all-star as soon as he steps in the league, da-da-da." And I was like, I don't think so. I think he can play defense. I think he can pass, and he can't shoot. I think he's going to come into the NBA and be Ricky Rubio. And so far, that's what he's been.
Yeah, and that Lakers team, man, if they had De'Aaron Fox, that's a whole and this is the thing is, right, Sim? Is this and I hate, excuse my language, but shitting on not because I don't feel like I want to do. I hate anytime a Knick player looks like a bust or is not produced. I hate it. It hurts me. Like I go for my team. If you're not a Knicks anymore, I don't care what the hell you do anymore. Unlike Mark, but I'm just joking with you, Mark, if you're watching. But the thing about it is that when I see certain players, man, it's like they remind me of certain guys from the 90s, right? So when you watch guys like Joe, and yes, they could be total busts in the NBA, but it was very hard when you saw certain guys, unless they were just too undersized or something, when they were dogs. Like, I mean, it hurt for them to lose. Like, you see the fire. Like, they're not one of these lovey-dovey guys. I saw that in De'Aaron Fox. I saw that I see it in Anthony Edwards. We don't know if he's going to do that in the NBA. But I saw that in Ja Morant. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just I feel a certain way where those certain intangibles, and it's not selfish play. It's not, hey, I'm just trying to get my points up and score. Is I want everybody to do good because when I see a W, that makes me sleep good at night. And I want more of that. That's what you saw from Kobe. That's what you saw from Jordan. That's what you saw from Olajuwon. And those are certain intangibles that you look to say, all right, even if this guy doesn't have it. I see it from RJ. Sim, if you watch RJ when he came from Duke, that his shooting was not.
I know,
good.
and you know what?
It was trash, bro.
I've also seen over the last few games RJ fade away from the game.
True,
I've seen him fade away from the game mentally over the last maybe 10 games, where people are like, "Where's RJ? What's going on?" Why? Because he's in the NBA now, and the game is different, and it can mess with your confidence a little bit, and you got to get it back, and you got to fight through it.
Yeah, but he has. I think he has a dog to keep that in. But look, put it like this. Look, Knox. I think, and I might say I'll give it another year, but I think by next year, because Knox is also missing a lot of set shots, and I think that I don't know what it is, Sim, but like for instance, me, I'm not comparing myself to any of these guys. I ain't crap. But I'm saying is that I feel better sometimes dribbling the ball and then shooting versus someone passing me in a corner or whatever, and I just shoot the ball set. Like I feel better actually dribbling. And I actually feel sometimes better dribbling when shooting when someone's contesting my shot, which is weird.
Me too.
Like it gives me a certain what's saying. And I think with Knox is that you see he's missing a lot of open shots. And like I know he made 1-3 last game. I don't know how many he missed. I think I saw him miss one and I saw him make one. I don't know the number, so somebody could correct me. I think with Knox, like I said, we have to have a system where he's moving around. Like you saw how we have with initially when we had with Fizzo. Fizzo's having Ellington move around. And shout out to Aziz for pointing out. It's called the post pass reversal. But basically, he runs through the middle. There's certain picks that kind of say he runs the middle, gets the ball out on the wing or whatever, and shoots that shot. We need Knox to be a focal point of offense. Like we just can't have him just kind of lazing around. He needs to be, like I said, they have to force him to be engaged.
But see,
and
I also feel because, like, I feel like Knicks fans especially, expect perfection almost right away, and they don't want to deal with the ups and downs of a player. And watching a player grow. And that's why so many people for so many years have said that you can't rebuild in New York because of what we get right now. Like, we don't want to watch the ups and downs of a player, and we freak out during the ups and downs of a player. Because in the beginning of the season, people were calling for Kevin Knox to start over Marcus Morris. Don't tell me they was not. They were
no, because
on this damn channel.
Why were they doing that? Let's be honest. Why were they doing that?
Bro, one, because he was shooting really well, right? But hold up.
And what else?
He was shooting really well, right? They liked the way that he was playing with energy. They liked the way that he was in the game, and they were upset with Marcus Morris, right? That Marcus Morris was shooting too many shots, right? But it's the up and down, it's the ups and downs of a player. So if you could see it for a stint, now the key now is, okay, we've seen it for this little bit. What was happening during this time, and how can we help him to extend it? Right? But, we see it and we're like, oh my God, he should start. And then when we don't see it, he's a bust, get him out of here. Like we can't have it that way. We got to be able to say, okay, you know what? We saw it. How do we help him to extend it? Because it's there. It's there for him to be a good shooter. It's there for him to be aggressive. I know when I was watching the game the other night, I seen him busting his ass to try to get rebounds. He played 12 minutes. He had 4 rebounds. He was working, trying to really pursue rebounds because someone is talking to him about these things, and he's trying to do it. He's just learning. I thought he was busting his ass to try to get some rebounds. Mike Green thought he was busting his ass to try to get rebounds.
I can't remember if it was Green or somebody, and he was trying. I'll give him that. I'll give him that, man. I'm not taking that away from him. But again, when we watched the summer league, he was also doing something that was really impressive. The way he was going to the basket was smarter, and it was a lot stronger. And I'm seeing him go back to the same bad, ugly floater habits that he has when he's going to the basket. It's like there's no, and obviously teams are playing zone against us. The defense is a lot more, they're a lot better than in summer league, right? But again, when he's going up to the basket, there's no real, I don't say rhyme or reason. It's like it's as if he's just looking to get something up there. And I mean, that was one thing that we said, look, the shooting is always going to be there, whatever. If he can get to the basket efficiently and effectively, then yeah, we'll see the growth. That's a guy you could put in and you can have him starting. But, he's not doing that. And he doesn't even have a back. One thing about Knox that gets me pissed is that this guy is 6'9", and he doesn't look flabby. He looks like he got a little he has no post-up game, Sim. He has no post-up game whatsoever for a guy who could shoot that well. I mean, his shot is a little weird.
He probably didn't grow up learning a post-up game.
Yeah, hey, this is NBA, bro. I'm not saying he goes to the club or anything, but you gotta learn a post-up game, bro.
Right. But it's not to say that he won't develop a post-up game sometime in his career, but I'm pretty positive from high school on through college, they didn't help him develop one in college. Right? So I mean, if that's something that they feel he needs to add, which he should add to his game, because he has the talent to do it. I don't care what anyone says. If they teach him how to do it, I'm pretty sure he can do a drop step. He can learn it. He's got to teach it. Someone's got to say to him, "Hey."
A lot of ifs, him. You can't bank on a lot of ifs.
Everything that you're saying is based on if too.
Only one is Edwards, and I'll admit that's an if.
You're saying everything is on ifs. I'm saying he can't learn how to do it. He's a year and a half into his career. He's 20 years old. He can't learn to have a post-up game?
He could learn how to do it, but bro, he was on a crap team last year, and I did not see any of that.
Okay, but
it's like when is it going to happen? Is it going to happen this year? Now you have Morris in the way. You have other players in the way.
But listen, there's a player right now at the school where I coach. He's a young man. He graduated last year. He's looking to go play in college. There's certain things that he has to work on if he wants to get there, right? He's about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". He thinks he's going to play Division I basketball. That's where he wants to be. But he's got a lot of work to get there. When I see him, all he's doing is working on his jump shot. So I was talking about him with someone today, and I said, well, here's the thing. He's got to have somebody break it down to him. He's 18, about to be 19 years old. He doesn't know everything that he has to work on. He doesn't know where all of his weaknesses are. You got to have somebody tell you, this is what you need to do. This is what you should do to help your career grow. This will help you get there. I don't know who his people are, Kevin Knox, but someone, if he needs to develop a post game, say, hey, you should develop a post game because this is going to help you take your career there. We can't expect him to just know that off the top of his dome.
And this is my last thing, Sim. This is why I know you got to go to Nate. This is why I like self-starters, man, because I don't have to try to invigorate that impetus for you to want
I don't
to
know.
develop
Even
that
a
stuff.
self-starter, someone's going to tell you where your weaknesses are.
No. Well,
right?
What I mean is
Someone's going to tell
if you come into the game, right? And RJ said, I mean, this is what he says, right? He said, "Oh, I have to work on everything, right?" When you and you see him trying to work on various things, whether it's working or not is one thing and is another thing. But the thing about it is that the reason why I like self starters is because I don't have to tell you, I don't have to give you the impetus to kind of, all right, I'm messing up here, I'm messing up here, I'll fix those things. But I've been working on this, I've been working on this, I've been working on this, and I'm not even used to doing these things, but I've been working on it because I know it's gonna make me a better player. Thank God. Now we can start at level 3 versus starting at level 0. Because now I have to tell you, well, it'll be nice if you get a post-up game. Versus, I've been working in the gym with this guy to develop a post-up game. I didn't do it at Kentucky, D Grant. I didn't do it. I didn't do it in high school. But I know that at 6'9", two whatever, how many pounds, I know that a post-up game it'll be really tough for even smaller guards or forwards who 6'7", whatever you want to call them. It would be better for me to have it because it'll be effective against those guys. All right, now I can get you. Now I can teach you when to pull up that post game. I can teach you how to shift your back weight to probably. I can teach you more advanced stuff versus trying to push it that, hey, learn a post up game. Now I have to wait. Come on, man. Am I getting on Knox? Look, I'm just saying that's why.
I mean, but even someone who is a self starter has someone to say, do this because it'll help better your game, and then that person goes and does it by themselves, and they work on it. Right? Even someone who was a self-starter. Well, I mean, I get what you're saying about someone being a self-starter, right? And they'll take some initiative to do this and to do that, right? But even a self-starter is going to have someone say, add this to your game or add that to your game. And then they'll go and they'll try to add that thing to their game.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot less. If I have to tell you to develop, if I have to sit there and push for you to develop 4 skills versus 2 skills or 1 skill or 1 more skill, I'm just saying, relatively speaking, the number wise, whatever. That's a lot worse. Like I shouldn't. Not say I shouldn't have to tell you. I can tell you to do this, blah blah. I'm just saying for a guy who's motivated to, like, when you look at a guy like Kobe, right? Kobe came into the NBA playing with Italians, Europeans, whatever, blah blah, because that. And yes, there are things but you never felt that when Kobe developed the elbow fade, like this guy was studying Jordan. Like you felt like Kobe was always evolving, and you felt, not to say no one ever told him this, but you always felt like he was always trying to find ways to get better. Jordan always trying to find ways to get better. Yes, he got the triangle that made him a more effective player, more efficient player, but you never felt like Jordan was like, oh, we gotta, let's push him to do this. Let's put. And it's not just Knox. There's a lot of these young players today because AAU and all that stuff. I agree with you in that front that these younger, high school, whatever, they're lacking in terms of teaching guys fundamentals. But that's gonna make you look at these guys who are self-starters, who they're coming to the game constantly evolving by themselves, like not say by themselves, but also more so by themselves. They look better than a Knox, and I'm just saying, I'm not getting on Knox.
But also, when you talk about like the people that you're bringing up and people that you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. They came up in a total different time, because you're talking about like the Kobe, you mentioned Kobe, you mentioned Michael Jordan. They came up in a totally different time where coaching was totally different on the high school level. You know what I'm saying? Coaching was totally different on that level. You know what I mean? You would hope that coaches on that level are teaching kids every single part of the floor, because you don't know what they're going to develop into. Teaching them every single part of the floor. It does not happen on a high school level. I'm not making an excuse for Kevin Knox. I'm just saying it does not happen on a high school level. You know what I mean? What high school coaches do today, whatever you can do well, that's what we're going to use you at, and that's basically about it. And then they use them there. There's a young lady that I coach. She was a heck of a rebounder, but she's 5'8", 5'9". And if she wanted to play in college, she was not going to be a rebounder in college. She's going to be a ball handler. Her high school coach never worked with her to help her develop her ball handling skills. Just kept her as a rebounder. She had the ability to be, if she would have been able to develop her ball handle skills, she had the speed, the power to be a heck of a guard. And she had it since she was a freshman, had 4 years to help her develop her ball handling skills. Never did it, just kept her as a rebounder. Now, she's not going to play in college. Right? Because, and that's what high school coaches do nowadays. They just kind of say, okay, this is what you do. This is where we're going to put you. You know what I'm saying? It happens like that. And sometimes you need someone around you to say, this is what you got to do. You see, all right, and now here would be my issue with him. If someone said to him, you should really add a post game, and then he just went on about and said, well, I'm just going to shoot threes, and then add a post game, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? To me, then that's a problem, because it don't take nothing but to say, hey, we want you got the whole summer, work on your post game, and if he goes and does it, then boom, there it goes. Everyone's not going to have the mentality of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, clearly. And some people who do have that same mentality, may not still make it. There's plenty of players in the NBA that have the same mentality, and they still don't make it.
You're 1,000% true. And I'm not, people, please don't take this as me comparing Knox. But what I was trying to talk about was self-starters versus guys who need time to develop. And I'm not even saying we can't. I just literally said that we need to run more off ball to get Knox more comfortable. I just said that. So for all the people trying to kill me, I literally said we should have a system that should accommodate him a little bit more. I said it about Frank. I said about a bunch of players on the Knicks. I even said about RJ last stream that we need to have RJ cut him more through the middle, more as a motion guy. I've said it for a lot of people. I'm not saying that we can't develop Knox.
Yeah. No, I'm not coming at you. I'm coming at every single person that I see that is calling him a bust and telling that we need to get rid of him. And every single person, if you said it, I'm talking to you. If you said that he's a bust, I'm talking to you. If you said that RJ Barrett's a bust, I'm talking to you.
First of all, anyone say RJ Barrett's a bust, you guys have, Lord. You know what's funny, Simp? I don't know. You can't have it before the Nets game. I want to see an MBK like scrimmage with some of you guys, because some of you guys who are saying some of these outrageous things, y'all better be able to make a layup or like jump or something, because a lot of y'all say all this stuff like y'all know, and I'm not saying I'm more knowledgeable, but some of y'all have some extreme takes, and I really want to see y'all play ball, man. Like I just got to, man. Like we've seen Isaiah play ball. He knows a little bit about ball, but he is garbage. So if he's that bad, some of you guys might be garbage. I'm only joking, guys, but yeah, man, look, I want Knox to develop. I want him to do well, man. I want him to kill for the Knicks. I just think this team is going to take a lot of changing. I think it's going to take Morris to be traded, because Knox, let's be honest, he needs time. He needs time to play. He needs experience.
He needs time.
And that's not going to happen with Morris. But Miller has to implement some more off-ball stuff, and Knox is going to have to get more minutes, so we could see if he's worth re-signing in, was it 2 years or whatever his
Yeah. Go ahead, Nate.
4 years.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nate. And Guillermo, you're still live, but go ahead, Nate. Since there's only two of you, I got both of you unmuted. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, man. Just to kind of chime in on what y'all are talking about, the whole Knox situation. Listen, as Knicks fans are wanting instant gratification right off the bat. And I get it. We sucked for a long time. They're tired of us losing. The frustration is like up to here, with this franchise. But like you said, a lot of these players are 19, 20 years old, and they need time to develop. The thing I question in some aspects is that, like, the people that they hired to develop, are some of them, like, are they getting it done? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you look at these teams that draft these young players, and their success is usually by the player development. They get better every year. And I could argue that some of these players have regressed a little bit. I think I told you that, like, when the season started, that I saw more regression in some of these younger players than I saw progression. And so I don't know. I mean, it's hard to gauge because, take Knox, for example. Knox didn't really learn how to function in an offense until it was like halfway through Kentucky's season. I mean, they made that very clear when they talked about him, is that he really wasn't a focal point of that offense until it was like half of the season, something like that. So really, he was barely learning on the fly. And I like Knox. I think he has a world of potential. Now, are you asking me if their right deal comes along, that we use him as trade bait? Yeah, absolutely, because there's a lot more needs on this team.
Well, I just want to stop you right there, Nate, because this is my mantra and always will be. If the right player comes along for any player, you'll use him. Any player. And I know people will say to me, no, this person's untouchable, that person's untouchable. To me, in the NBA, really nobody is untouchable as long as it's the right deal.
Right. No, exactly. And like I said, I mean, I think he does have the world of potential, but at some points we do need to get a point guard. I mean, I'm going to keep beating that drum till it goes down, you know, and kind of going back to what we talked about yesterday's show about having Dolan in the locker room with Mills and Perry. I can almost guarantee you that they basically told the players that there are going to be some moves. And y'all are just going to have to deal with it. And I honestly think, because why would you bring all three of them in if you're not going to make that kind of message to the players? I really do. And they're coming along the trade deadline too.
I don't know. There's a multitude. There's anything. They could have been coming in and said, I want to talk to the players. I want to find out what you guys think about Mike Miller. It could have been that.
I don't know, man.
I'm not going to speculate on why. I'm not going to say, yeah, he was there to tell the players that there's going to be moves. They don't need James Dolan to do that.
Right, but bringing in Perry and Mills into the locker room with Dolan, I think that they came up as a united front, basically saying, like, listen, we're going to make the moves that are going to better this team and get this team back to the winning ways. They might not have said it directly.
What you're saying there, I think that's kind of, given. Like, players kind of know that. I don't know. I feel like it's just my opinion that, one, he could have just been on a trip because they're going to L.A. and he has business in L.A. and he decided to be with the team. But two, I kind of just feel like the fact that James Dolan was with them, it has to do more with Mike Miller than the players. Because that right there, I think, the players, if all is right, and, what they say, then James Dolan is going to let Scott Perry and Steve Mills do what they do unless he's going to move them, right?
Well,
I don't see why he would have to come in and say, yeah, this is what's – I don't know. I don't think they would do it in the locker room.
Because the trade deadline's coming around the corner. That's
I know, but I don't think they would do it in the locker room before a game. I think they would hold a meeting outside of a game, before practice, after practice, not before a game. They might have said
a multitude of things, but I'll tell you what, Sim, if they were asking about Mike Miller, that worries me, because that tells me that they're really considering extending him before the season's over.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't think you should do that.
To me, if you're going into the locker room with a message before a game, it's going to be a positive message, not a negative message, because it's before a game. So you want the players to be in the right mindset and the right frame of mind coming into the game. So it's not going to be a negative message like, hey, yeah, you guys might get traded. Not going into the game, it's not. Mm-hmm. If those three are going to go into the locker room to address the players, and I don't know if they address the players or not, but if they're going to go into the locker room together to address the players, it's going to be a positive message. So if they went in and say, hey, we just want to get your idea. We want to know what you guys feel about Coach Mike Miller. What do you like about him? Blah, 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 blah. Kind of surveying the team.
But Mike Miller probably was in there too, wasn't he?
They could ask him to leave, or they could say, hey, Coach, we want to talk to the players. I mean, But to me, they're not going to come in with a negative message before the game.
I tell you what, man, and you heard this first on the show, that a trade is coming for a point guard.
How do you know?
I'm gonna say it right now. I don't know who it's gonna be, but I got a feeling a trade is coming for a point guard.
Okay,
I got a feeling.
All right, we'll see.
I think they're gonna pull the trigger on something.
So what do you think they're gonna pull the trigger on?
Well, I sure as hell hope it's D'Lo, man. I think there's enough chatter out there that I think that they need a point guard, and you get a guy like D'Lo at 24, 25 years old, and bring him in, man. I mean that's what I hope it be. I mean, I don't know who else is out there that is going to trade their point guard.
Okay, and to answer your question. Well, not to answer your question, but kind of feed off of what you were saying about these guys developing players. what the hell did Keith Smart do to Dennis Smith Jr.? That's what I want to know. He was supposed to come in with an improved jump shot. What the hell happened
That's why
there?
Keith Smart's not on the team anymore.
I know, but damn.
Man, Keith Smart.
Like, they all these videos of his jump shot, and to me, it's come back worse than it was before.
He looks like Frank Ntilikina from last year.
I mean, I don't know. I think it looks worse than that. I mean, to me, Frank always had good form. He was just hesitant.
No, I'm just talking about the confidence of Dennis Smith Jr. His confidence looked like Frank Ntilikina's the last year, where he had no confidence. He looked shook. His shot was bad. He erratic. Dennis Smith Jr. looks like just a shell of himself. And I think so. I think too, Tim. It's got to be something with his body, man. I mean, at 21 years old, I hate to say it, but that guy's body looks like a 30-year-old. I mean, his knees are already bad. Yeah. I mean, it's sad to say that, but I mean, he very well could be out of the league in the next year or so. I mean,
I hope not, man. I would hate to see that. He's got, I would hate to see that.
It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah, it does. I would hate to see that, though. Let me get the Rob the Nick. Let me get the Rob. Rob, what's going on, man?
Everything good?
Everything is kosher, bro. I'm chilling.
All right. I'm glad to hear from you, baby. So, what's the topic? What you want to talk about? I'm gonna let you run it.
I mean, right? You see that? He gonna let me run. Now you guys know who the boss is. Yeah, I know who the boss is. Now he's gonna let me run it. You guys know who the boss is.
You the double boss.
Right now, we just kind of, we just talking about different things going on with the Knicks. That's all.
Okay. So as far as if y'all talking trades, I think I want to talk about Knox. I think I want to really talk. I think Knox is really getting a bad deal right now. I think that the media, even though don't get me wrong, I think RJ is a player. I think they pushed him forward a little bit more and pushed Knox back. And we're acting like Knox is not a player anymore, which I think he is. He just needed to do one thing for me. You always said that he was 3 on the offense. He needs to stop short, pull up. I think that'll work for him. He's either shooting a 3 or crashing the basket. What about a mid-range? He hasn't shown two dribbles in, pull up.
Yeah.
I think if Knox does that, it will change the rest of the season for him. That's one thing that he's not doing. He's either going to the basket, falling on the ground, making the shot, or he's pulling up for 3. How about a fake left, dribbling 2 dribbles, pull up? He can shoot over anybody. He's not utilizing that. What you think about that, Sims?
I mean, he could add that to his game. A couple of things I like to see him add, that he could do kind of immediately. I've been harping on this for a long time. When he does go to the basket, I never feel like he extends all the way to the basket. He kind of brings the ball out here and flips it up in the air. I want to see him extend all the way to the basket. I never feel like he extends all the way to the basket where he can get some fouls. A 2 dribble pull up, I think it would do him some good as well. You know what I mean? A good boom boom and pull up in the air. That might do him some good too. To do those things.
And that shows as though they're not working with him or something, because that's something in his game that he used to do in Kentucky that he's just not doing.
Yeah, well, everyone's game evolves a little bit.
It's like he's never in dunking form anyway. It's a layup. I heard you say something that you was talking about, I don't know if it was last night or the night before, about a player that you had that until he dunked on somebody, he got aggressive. I think that would be what Knox need to do. Dunk on somebody and go from there.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
That resonated with me when you was talking about that.
Yeah. Listen, there's 2 areas. One thing you said I agree. One thing I don't agree. You said that you feel like the media is kind of pushing this thing with Kevin Knox. I mean, I haven't heard it too much in the media. I did read something today. I do feel like Knicks fans, though, go a lot with what's said in the media. I really do. I feel like a lot of Knicks fans are afraid to have, they read and hear the media, and then boom, it's automatic truth. That bothers me sometimes. The one area I don't think that they pushed him to the backside because R.J. Barrett is there. I just feel, I am a big proponent of your best players. A coach is going to play their best players. I don't care. Right? The coach is going to play their best players. He's got to, he's got to show and prove. I mean, I feel like he's got to show and prove, certain things that he's got to do out there. I'm just not as panicky as everybody else is about the kid, man.
If our motto is to play the young players, and we're like a year in, and we see Knox getting 16 minutes, even though look, Morris thing, I'm saying keep Morris, but let Morris know what's going on, what we're trying to do.
But that's not gonna work.
If you believe in blue and orange,
that's okay. Not gonna, but see, to me, that's not gonna work. Right? We seen it last year with DeAndre Jordan. Right? We're gonna let DeAndre Jordan know, all right, we're gonna play Mitch because Mitch is young and we want him to start and we want to do this and we want to do that. And while he didn't say anything to the media, he was unhappy about it. Came out over the summer. He was unhappy about it. I don't think that's gonna work with Marcus Morris. Well, listen, we want Kevin Knox to develop this, that, and this and that. He's from the old school. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Morris got an old school mindset.
Decision and let him go. Just on that, not for what we can get for him. Because if we let him go, all he's going to go to is a team that's running for a championship. So we talking about a 28th, 27th first round pick. We already have Dallas's that's going to probably be a 22, 21. So do we really need 3 first-round picks just because of Morris, or let him serve a purpose for us? We're not going to get anything. We're not going to get a player from a contending team. That's a good player.
No, but what I'm saying to you is this, right? If you're going to keep Marcus Morris, then you got to just let Kevin Knox battle for the position, battle for the minutes if you're going to keep Marcus Morris, right? Because you can't keep Marcus Morris and then say, yeah, we're keeping you, but we're either going to let Kevin Knox start over you, we're just going to let him do it, or, we're going to cut your minutes significantly so that Kevin Knox can play. I don't think you can't do that with Marcus Morris. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Morris is going to be like, hold up, what you mean? Nah, he better earn. If he earns it, okay, I get it. But if he don't earn it, I'm not taking a seat. And rightfully so for Marcus Morris. So the Knicks got to make a decision. To me, you got to make a decision. If they're gonna say, you know what, we want to put Kevin Knox in that spot, then you move Marcus Morris and put Kevin Knox in that spot. If they value Marcus Morris, then you keep Marcus Morris and you say, Kevin Knox, you got to earn your stripes. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can't do that with a player like Marcus Morris. In my opinion, it's not gonna work. I think that would be a mistake, and it would cause a lot of friction, I think, in the locker room to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Knicks got to make a decision which way they're going to go with Marcus Morris. Either they want Kevin Knox to step up and be in there, or they're going to say, Kevin Knox, Marcus Morris is here, you got to earn your stripes. David Fizdale at the beginning of the season said it about Kevin Knox. He said it's going to be harder for him this year. You got some people in front of you, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle is there. It's going to be tougher. You got some people there, so he's going to have to earn his stripes. That's just what it is. I know David Fizdale ain't here, but I agree with him 100%. I agree with him 100% on that. You know what I mean? And look, now, I don't want to say Knicks fans are turning on R.J. Barrett, but now, we're seeing R.J. Barrett kind of fade away a little bit, not be as aggressive. You kind of sit. Listen. The last game, R.J. Barrett took 10 shots. 6 of them were 3-point baskets, not where he dribbled and pulled up, but where he was just standing, caught the pass, and shot it. Okay? The same things that a lot of people are saying, that they don't like about Kevin Knox, we've kind of seen that in the last 10 games or so with R.J. Barrett. Let's be honest with it. Let's be truthful. I'm not coming down on it, kid. I like RJ Barrett. I think he's going to be a really good player. I don't know if he's going to be a superstar, but I think he's going to be a really good player. Time, time will tell us if he's going to be, that franchise type guy that everybody wants. You know what I'm saying? That you need, not that everyone wants, but that you need. Time will tell. You know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to give him all the time in the world. He's a bad shooter, and he still can average 14 points a game. That maybe tells you something. But, but the last 10 games, what people complain about with Kevin Knox, we see it from RJ Barrett. I don't care what you say. You can say, well, he still had 10 points last game. True, but he played 30 minutes to get those 10 points too. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Knox, if you played him 30 minutes, he probably get 10 points too. You know what I'm saying? Probably so. But we've seen some of that from RJ Barrett in the last 10 games or so. Listen, your reputation precedes you. No matter what happens, your reputation comes before you, and people are going to always, that's your first impression. People are always going to have that in their mind, no matter what happens. He'll have that, Kevin Knox, I guess, will have that tag on him for the rest of his career. No matter what he does, he can go 50 games where he plays hard as hell, burning up his knees on the floor, busting up his elbows, got blood spilling all over the place. And he'll have one game where he takes a break and everybody will say, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. That's how Knicks fans do. But tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks play the Clippers in LA at 3:30. The Clippers will be a depleted team. All right. A lot of, you got Kawhi Leonard taking the night off. Paul George, I think he's got a hamstring issue or something like that. Patrick Beverley's not playing. So it's going to be, it could be, I don't know if there's any trap games for the Knicks, but it could be a trap game. It could be whatever. I don't know. The Knicks play the Clippers tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, or tomorrow at 3:30. Make sure you're there. Staples Center. The projected starters for tomorrow night for the Knicks, whose head coach is Mike Miller, interim head coach Mike Miller, is Elfrid Payton, RJ Barrett, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, Taj Gibson. All right, Dennis Smith Jr. still out with an oblique injury. Head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers, Doc Rivers. Projected starters tomorrow is Derek Walton Jr., Landry Shamet, Maurice Harkless, Montrezl Harrell, and Ivica Zubac. A lot of names that you may not know, especially when you expect Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Patrick Beverley to be there. These guys not going to be there tomorrow, most likely. So this looks like the starting lineup for tomorrow. Then, of course, you got Lou Williams on the bench. Looking at some numbers behind the game, the Knicks are 10-25. The Los Angeles Clippers are 25-12. Both teams have lost their last game. The Knicks average 103.9 points per game. They give up 111.1. They're shooting 43.2% from the field, 34.5% from three. And they average 46.7 rebounds per game. They also average 21.1 assists and 14.3 turnovers per game. The Los Angeles Clippers, they average 115.3 points per game. They give up 109.2 points per game. They shoot 46% from the field, and they shoot 35.7% from three. They average 48.1 rebounds per game, 23.3 assists, and 15.7 turnovers per game. For the season, the offensive rating for the Los Angeles Clippers is 111.3. That's seventh in the league. Their defensive rating is 105.3. That's sixth in the league. For the Knicks, their offensive rating for the season is 104.3. It's 27th in the league. And their defensive rating is 111.5. That's 21st in the league. Now, that's across the season. Obviously, there's a tale of two seasons for the Knicks so far. So let's look at the last 10 games for both teams. The last 10 games for the Knicks, their record is 5-5. As a matter of fact, both teams' record is 5-5 in the last 10 games. The last 10 games, the Knicks are averaging 111.2 points per game and they're giving up 111.1. They're shooting 45.8% from the field, 33.4% from three. They grab 50.5 rebounds per game, 23.8 assists, and they average 12.7 turnovers per game. Now remember, this is the last 10 games. All right, for the Los Angeles Clippers, they're shooting 115.2. Their average 115.2 points per game. They give up 109.2 points per game. This last 10 games, ladies and gentlemen. They're shooting 46.8% from the field, 36.4% from three, and they grab 45.4 rebounds per game. They've been getting about 23.6 assists per game and averaging 14.2 turnovers per game. The last 10 games, their offensive rating is 113.2. That's 5th in the league. And their defensive rating is 109.9. That's 17th in the league. For the Knicks, their offensive rating is 110.4, 14th in the league. And their defensive rating is 109.1, also 14th in the league. So these teams over the last 10 games are much closer than for the entire season. Then obviously the Los Angeles Clippers have been dealing with injuries and resting players and those type of things. So we'll see what this game turns out to be tomorrow. Key matchup for tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. Lou Williams and Elfrid Payton, and that could also be Frank Ntilikina, ladies and gentlemen. Elfrid Payton 6'1". Lou Williams is 6'1", 175. Averages 19.2 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 6.2 assists per game. He's just under 1 steal per game is Elfrid Payton. He shoots 42% from the field and 36% from three. Elfrid Payton, he's 6'3", 195. He's averaging 7.9 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, and 6.1 assists per game. He's also averaging 1.4 steals per game, shoots 39.7% from the field and 26.5% from three. Now, another guy that will probably see a lot of time on Lou Williams is Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina averages 5.9 points per game, 2.1 rebounds per game, 3.1 assists, and just under a half a block a game. And 1.1 steals per game. Frank Ntilikina shoots the ball at 38.8% from the field and 32.5% from three. Both of these guys will see time on Lou Williams, and they'll probably need some assistance. They'll need some help. We don't want Lou Williams getting off the way that Devin Booker got off last night or the previous game, whenever, against Phoenix. Check out some keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. The first key to the game is the Knicks got to stay focused versus a depleted team. We've been there, done that. I think we learned our lesson. We got to stay focused. Don't lose it. All right, we need to match the defensive intensity. This is a Doc Rivers coach team. So you already know that they're going to come out with some defensive intensity. All right, they're going to come out with intensity and ready to play. We've got to match that defensive intensity. We've also got to dominate the glass. Let's not let Harold can get busy down there. He's a beast under the basket. He's a dog. In the illest sense of the word, he is a dog. All right, so, we got to fight with that dude. We got to dominate the glass. We should dominate the glass. The Knicks, over the last 10 games, have been averaging 50.5 rebounds per game, while the Los Angeles Clippers have been averaging 45 rebounds per game. We should win the battle of the boards. We're going to need to win the battle of the boards. Like I said, we can't let Lou Williams get off. We got to find a ways to defend this guy, trap him if you can, get the ball out of his hands, make some other guys score. Make some other guys do something. Listen, these guys got beat 140. They got blown out tonight versus the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, they got bust. They don't want to get it back, but they got bust. They still scored 114 points, though. We need ball movement and man movement. This is a good defensive team. Doc Rivers is going to have these guys ready to play defense. If we stand still and watch one person dribble, and shoot, it's going to be a problem. All right, we need ball movement and man movement. And we also got to find a way to get RJ involved, man. We got to get RJ going. Help him get his confidence back. Put him in good positions to score. right? Put him in a spot where he can score naturally. Get him close to the basket. Stop having him hang out in the corner by the 3-point line, chucking up threes. I know he's wide open, but he's not hitting them joints. Let's get him inside. Let's use him inside. Let him post up a little bit. Let him get some easy buckets, some ways to the basket. Hopefully he gets to the line. All right, but we got to find a way to help RJ Barrett out right now. He's struggling a little bit. If we can help him out, it's going to help out the team, obviously. All right, those are my keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. What I think should happen. Know what you think should happen. That's what I think should happen. But I'm getting ready to head up out of here. It's late. All right, it's almost 2 a.m. I appreciate you guys for being on with me. All right, so I'm going to get Nate and I'm going to get Rob to give me a couple of last words. Then I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Nate, give me some last words, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, to winning tomorrow, you got to utilize. You got to slow down Lou Williams. It's going to be hard because he is like a Devin Booker. I mean, the guy literally has infamous range and can shoot lights out if given the opportunity. I'd like to see more from our guards. I mean, I've been very critical of our guards. I think I need to see more from them. I mean, whoever they're going against, they need to be more aggressive. We need to see more shots. I just want to see more from them. And I think Julius Randle has a really good matchup because yes, he is going against Montrezl Harrell, but I think he can do well in that matchup because they're both around the same size. But Julius is faster than Montrezl. Montrezl is bigger, but Julius is faster than him. So I think if he can bully him in the post, I think he can have a really good game. And especially because the last game he didn't really do nothing. So
yeah. 13 points, 13 rebounds.
I think if you limit Lou Williams' shots or limit his offensive ability and get Julius in the post and bully on Montrezl, the Knicks have a chance. But what worries me is that Doc Rivers is always one of those coaches that if this team gets beat the night before, they usually come out and play the next game, regardless of who they play.
Yep.
And so what worries me is that he's going to have them ready, and the Knicks are going to struggle because if it's a half-court game, the Knicks will lose because Doc Rivers can lock down a team half-court. So it's going to be very important for the Knicks to get out and run, get easy baskets, to get layups, to get dunks, whatever they have to do, because Doc Rivers is really good in the half-court. And I think that's where the Knicks struggle is when we get into half court, we don't have the point guard to utilize the half court and struggle, and we become playing hero ball and all that stuff. So we'll see, man. I don't know. On paper, you look at the matchup and you say, yeah, Knicks should win because I mean we got a full strength roster and they've got their third or fourth best players playing against us. So.
Yeah, well, we've been there before. We've been there before. Hopefully we learned our lesson. Let me get to Rob, and then I'm getting up out of here, man. Thank you, Nate. Rob? Yeah. Can't hear you, Rob. I don't know what happened. Maybe you got it on mute. Something like that. I don't know I don't know. Rob's got some technical issues again. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head up out of here. I'll talk to Rob offline. Remember, Monday night, I start Knicks Weekly on Sportscaster. So I want to make sure you guys are there with me, man. All right. If you haven't followed me on Sportscaster, which a lot of you have not followed me on Sportscaster, all right, because I see how many followers I got on Sportscaster, please do so now, ladies and gentlemen. It only takes you 5 minutes to get on a Sportscaster and follow me. 5 minutes or less. All right, Knicks Weekly begins this Monday, where we're going to break down everything that happened over the week. We're going to talk about, obviously, the games. We're going to talk about rumors. We're going to talk about all that kind of stuff. All right, it's going to be exclusively on Sportscaster. All right, so follow me there right now, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, I will see you tomorrow after the game as we do our regular post game. And I may just have a couple other special videos that drop tomorrow. We'll see what happens. See if I can get it done in time. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Please make sure that you follow me right now on Sportscaster, because that Knicks Weekly show begins Monday night. It's the first episode. We break down everything that happened throughout the week for the New York Knicks. Should be fun. Should be good. Gonna have a good time with it. Follow me on Sportscaster right now. I will see you guys tomorrow after the game. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So, just enjoy. Go get some sleep. Wake up ready in the morning. I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
That's the jig.